Hello friends, today we have Bavani Periasamy here, and today we're going to talk about the topic of science, the science and power of gratitude, right? So the word gratitude has been made so popular by the movie documentary The Secret, right? So we are going to have to hear a lot of that, the ins and outs, what doesn't work, what works, and all soon. But before that, let's just have a quick video, and then we will get started with the conversation. Hi, Bhavani. So
Hello, good
welcome.
afternoon. Welcome,
So you have a
welcome.
lot. You have a lot of friends already here in
Oh,
the
nice.
yes. So we
Hi.
have Sam, we have Nawamani, we have Lechumi, and we have a lot of friends from LinkedIn, from Facebook, and from YouTube. So hello everyone.
Hello,
Today,
hello.
Bhavani, you want to just say hello to them again?
Hello, friends. Thanks for coming and joining us at 3 p.m. on a Saturday afternoon. Nice to see y'all.
All right. So we have we uh, we have the topic today: the science and power of gratitude. The word gratitude has been popularized a lot by this documentary called The Secret many years ago. Before that, I barely heard the word gratitude. From time to time, but when The Secret came out, it just blew the whole thing about gratitude out there. All right. So today we're going to hear also a lot about, what are the myths behind
Mm.
gratitude? Why sometimes gratitude doesn't work? Can you really feel gratitude when things are so busy, things are, so difficult? Let's say when you are lost your job, can you still feel gratitude? And can gratitude turn things around? More importantly,
Okay, awesome
right?
questions.
There are a lot of questions people have already sent in already.
Oh,
So it'll be a
nice.
rocking session today. Look forward to hear from you. So what made you actually get started on gratitude? You have been practicing gratitude for a really long time now.
Oh, okay. Interestingly, right, as I reflect, I think I had this habit of writing thank you notes to my teachers in school. So I'm always this person who had this, color papers, colored card, those when you do your kajian tempatan and folios those days we buy
Yes.
those set and all that, so all those
Right.
leftovers I used to collect and make cards, cut shapes and tampal. I used to do those, but I thought that was
Right.
just me trying to um one is I needed to always ask my mom if I needed to go to bookstore to buy cards. So this saves
Okay.
time. I used to do it myself. But what I
Right.
really remember that impacted me was I think somewhere along 2008 or 2009, I got this gift which was a book. And I seriously cannot remember when I got this gift, whether it was a Christmas gift exchange, or where was it? It was this book by the founder of Amway, uh, Rich DeVos.
Rich divorce.
Yeah, so he had this small book. It's called the 10 Powerful Phrases um, for Positive People, or something along those lines. I
Right.
actually re-gifted that book to a student of mine. So this book, right? One of the 10 phrases, there's a lot of it. It was, I'm wrong, I'm sorry, I think I believe in you, I love you. There's 10 phrases. And
Right.
one of the phrases was actually thank you.
Right.
And then we got caught up with that era where law of attraction suddenly became the topic because the movie and the book The Secret came out. And then I realized my own life really changed when I started practicing gratitude, because I was always this person. I always had this mindset, I'm just this girl from a small town called Port Dickson. Who am I? I mean, I never had any big dreams or goals, but I had two powerful mentors, my former bosses, who really made me see a lot of potential in me. So when they ask me what are the good things that happen, and I always tend to, because of some working experience in the past, I used to be very negative. So my bosses always ask these coaching questions. Tell me three things that work well for you this week. Because when they ask me how things were this week, I'll say this one didn't go well, that one was not right. So they started to change the way they ask questions and say, tell me three things that worked this week, or something like that, to that effect, or one thing that went well. And I realized when I started to answer questions that way, I felt different, because I'm not no longer looking at problems. I'm not looking at my failures or what I thought was my failures. Now I got excited because, hey, actually I'm doing a lot of good things, great things. And my bosses keep repeating and asking me this. Can you see that, these things actually brought us better impact, better revenue, client engagement, a lot of things in that context. And I started realizing, oh gosh, if I thought I was just a normal person, good for nothing, or just another random person. But when
Right.
I started focusing on good things that I have achieved and started thanking them, a lot more nicer stuff started to happen. And of course, when nice stuff start to get happening, you get excited. And I think it sort of started from there. Then I realized gratitude or being grateful is a way of living. So I think many of us would have heard that common phrase, motivation is like bathing.
Right.
You can't stop. So same thing, gratitude is like brushing teeth. You can't not include it as part of your daily ritual. That's I
Right.
think pretty much how I got started into this whole gratitude journey.
Okay. I'm going to ask you a little bit more about, what are some of the things that changed for you. But
Mm-hmm.
before that, let's just say hello to everyone here who has come in and
Hello,
joined the show. They are all saying hello. All right. So we have
hello, hello.
Sam, we have Nawamani, we have Lechmi, we have Premanan, we have Gayatri, Angie Ng, okay, we have Punita, we have Michael Warren, okay.
Oh,
Michael
nice.
Warren particularly said something here, okay. First, Punita has got ready her lemonade on the left and Shabby ice cream on the right, listening to gratitude.
Wow, I would love one of those too. Nice.
Right. Yeah. That gives a good feeling, and it just triggered out something. All right. So Michael has asked a good, sent a good comment. Gratitude. Someone asked, why do cancer survivors seem so nice? I really believe it's based on their feelings of gratitude to have another go
Another go
at
at
life.
life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Powerful. Warren. Thanks. Then we have Cheryl saying hi here.
Hi.
Uh, right. We have Balaraman. We have Lee Lun, we have Picasso, okay,
Nice.
and we have Patpal. Hi, Patpal.
Hi. Hi. Hi.
All right, watch out. Patpal is going to ask you a lot of good questions later on. Okay, I'm
Awesome.
very
Keep it
sure about
coming.
it.
Keep it coming.
Okay,
Keep it coming.
so what happened to you when you started practicing gratitude? You mentioned that some positive things changed. Earlier, you were a little bit negative. You mentioned that you had a bleak outlook of how things should be, right? And then when you started practicing gratitude, what changed?
I guess I became happier because before that life was just get up, go work, come back. Life was just routine for me. But when my colleagues and my bosses helped me look at a different perspective, right? I think I became happier and life became fun. And like it or not, I started to love my job because before this, I hated all my jobs. And this was a training company that I started working with in 2009, and I absolutely loved going to work. On Friday, I'll be like, "Ayo, weekend ah." Seriously, because you have people who appreciate you. You have people who are always looking at bright side of things, that you suddenly feel the loss when 2 days you're not there with them. So Monday blues is never a problem after that for me. I'm like, what's Monday blues, man? I'm just excited to go back to work. Why? Because it's like an addiction right now. Because you're just thriving in this it's like in a patch of grass that you just have this good fertilizer and you're just blooming and growing green. So that was that experience I felt, because when the people around you appreciate you, they are also looking at things excited, celebrating all the good things that happen. And I'm not saying that shit didn't happen. Trust me, it did. But it's always how we reframe and put it into perspective. So
Right.
what I realized was, I was doing indoor sales. I mean, internal sales at that time. I had good relationship with our customers. Um, Call it key account management. So retaining customers was an enjoyable job. Doing sales was exciting. So even though we get no's, it's like, it's okay. Next client. So the whole process was exciting. And I just saw nice, exciting things happening. So please bear in mind, because people always ask me, "Are you saying that your life is all roses and glory right now?" No, that's not it.
Right.
Um, Pardon my language, shit still happens. COVID still happened to all of us.
Right.
But it's about looking at the small things, the little things that we take for granted, and celebrate those really. Um, Look, it's difficult not to look at your problem because it's literally staring at you right uh, big in front of you. But to find somewhere in the midst of all this big huge problem in front of you, right, and just find that one small glimmer of gratefulness in something around you. So that's pretty much how I think life has been, at least for the last 1 decade for me.
Right. Yeah, this is so important right now, especially a lot of people are losing the jobs. Businesses are not doing well. COVID is here to stay for a while, at least. Mr. or Mrs. COVID, they are just
Yeah.
enjoying their time here, and people are generally having a not good time. Okay, so can gratitude be practiced during this time?
Okay. This is a very good question, and people keep asking me this, and there's a big long answer to it. Yes, you can, but I need to admit and say that it's an ongoing process. It's a long process, and do not expect great good things to happen immediately, the next second, the next hour, tomorrow. Yeah, it's a long process, but it works because when it becomes a ritual, when it's an ongoing thing that you have adopted, when your being is different right now, things will slowly change. And if I can just touch on this question that you mentioned earlier, Vyasa, you asked why sometimes gratitude doesn't work for people. I'm just generalizing. I can't assume this is the case for everyone. It's because people quit too fast, or say that I'm grateful for it, nothing happened also. The mere fact that um in Malay we say, like, you pandang seleke towards that whole object, that whole being. I'm grateful. What I selalu doa setiap hari. I'm praying every day. I'm saying my gratitude every day. But that's I think precisely the science behind it is, do you understand why you do it, or do you do it because you're fulfilling the quota of saying thank you? So Vyasa, I can always just say, hey, thanks, Vyasa, it's great. But do I really feel thankful and do I really feel appreciative of your actions? That's two different things. Am I saying it because the society expects me to say thank you to you? Or am I saying it to you because I truly appreciate what you have done? So that's
Mhm.
all these little things that maybe not make gratitude work for someone.
Right.
So having said that, tough times, gratitude, is it easy? Not easy, but if you don't give up, if you embark on this journey and say that, you know what, no matter what, there is still blessings that we can look at, why not start from there? The mere fact that you're alive, even if you have zero income coming in, the mere fact that you are alive, and how many deaths do we have right now because of COVID and because of a lot of other diseases? That could be just one perspective that we start thinking about. We are alive right now, so it's just about
Right.
what's next, where can I go? And if we look at the problem becomes bigger. But if we look at, okay, put a problem aside, if we look at solutions, then the mindset is already different. I have a friend, I think Vyasa, you might also know him. Captain Ariwa once said this: if you don't look at solution, if you look at the problem, then the problem is what's that's ruling your day. Something to the effect that he said. But if you're looking at solutions, your mindset is different. So which are we choosing to look at? So that's why,
Right.
yes, gratitude will work. I have a testimony right now that I'm proudly shouting about. Yes, gratitude works, but do not give up on it. And do not have great expectations by saying that today I started my gratitude journal. Tomorrow I'm going to have a new job. Tomorrow I'm going to get this big sale. Uh, do without expectation. Do because you're truly grateful.
Okay.
I think
Okay.
that's in a small nutshell that how I can wrap that up.
I'm sure we're going to hear a lot more about this whole thing as we go along, right? So, yeah, the I had a question just now and it just flew out my mind.
No worries. Keep other questions
Okay,
coming.
what is the science behind gratitude, right? Gratitude, I know in the culture we always even have the expectation, when you do something good, the other person should say thank you. Even in our daily prayers and all that, there's a word
Mm-hmm.
thank you there, there's gratitude. But what is the science behind this whole gratitude thing?
Okay. The thing that maybe, again, I'm just generalizing, maybe many people actually do not realize is that there are scientific reasons why gratitude is good for the body per se.
Mhm.
When you are in the mode or in the being of being grateful, the type of hormones that's being released in your body is just different. We have seen this random posters or quotes that goes around how a hug actually makes a difference.
Yeah.
The hormones that's released by the body. So the same thing, being in a attitude of gratitude, when your state of being is full of gratefulness, the hormones that's released in the body is those good hormones. It overtakes all those toxic hormones as compared to when you are a fearful mode. So
Mm-hmm.
you have heard of all this dopamine, serotonin, and all these things.
Yes.
So there
Yes.
is a scientific reason. I'm more than happy to really share about all this. But if you can just maybe after this go and read Dr. Joe Dispenza,
Okay.
Joe Dispenza, Dispenza. He has
Okay.
done a lot of research, scientific research, to prove that actually gratitude actually has effect in our body system in terms of hormones and all that. So that's
Right.
actually the science. Gratitude is not a cliche. It's not what I say. Social expectations, yes, that's one. That's the reason why people say thank you. But it's actually proven that the science behind it, it actually helps with your uh, the hormones in the body. And that's another reason why mental health advocates are also in some of the journals that I've read. Again, I can give links later. Gratitude, or the practice of gratitude, also helps in terms of people who are depressed, people who are feeling down. That the action, maybe even journaling, actually brings about changes. So that's the whole science behind of it. Probably need to take a few hours to sit and talk about each in one category about dopamine, serotonin, how it affects the mind, everything. But there are scientific researchers done that actually proves this theory. So it's no longer a cliche, it's no longer a woo-woo theory. It's just not what law of attraction is about. It is a proven theory. It's a scientific theory that gratitude actually has changes impact in our body mind system. So that's the science part of it.
Right. Okay, so let's just hear some comments from some of our audience here. We have Prem saying, when you learn how to appreciate your life, you will thank all the blessings you had received. All right, so
Yeah,
good one.
exactly.
And Cheryl says, perspectives changes
Changes
how
how you feel
we.
about it. Yep.
Okay, and then Pathpal said, yeah, you should read this up, Bhavani.
Oh yes, yes. Patpal was there when I did my gratitude sharing in our MAPS convention 2 years ago. So I actually paid tribute to my mentors who helped me, and that was my first open session where I openly gave my tribute to my mentors. Yes, thank you, Patpal, for saying it. That was a beautiful moment.
I think I saw that post by you, I think 2 years ago. Okay.
Yes.
Then, okay, Prem says this. Sometimes when you're rejected, it does not mean failure, but a new opportunity is waiting for you. It's a universal law, so always be grateful. My personal experience. Okay, good
Yep.
to hear.
To-
And
Totally agree.
Prem, if you could, share with us, like, what kind of experience you have gone through. It'd be great, for all our viewers here today. Okay. Punita says gratitude shows character.
Yes, indeed it does.
And Pratpal says, I think some people feel the universe owes us. Okay, it doesn't. I'm grateful for what I have and at the same time patiently await for the rest to manifest in the future. Okay, interesting perspective. Thanks, Pratpal. And then we have LinkedIn user important topic. Okay, high five. Okay,
Nice.
so now let's get into the actual works of it. How do
Yeah.
we actually get started practicing gratitude?
Okay, there's a lot of things that we can do.
Okay.
One of my call me fussy or call me picky or what. I think one of the first few easy things that we can do is when we say thank you to people, really mean it when you say it, not just say it because again we are taught to say, when the child gives something to someone, someone gives a child something, we always prompt the child, what must you say, and then the child will dutifully say thank you. But are we really telling the child why is he or she telling thank you? It's I think simple things. Again, Vyasa, the same example I use, I could just say thanks Vyasa and move on, or I could just say, thank you, Vyasa. I really appreciate this session. It's very close to my heart. And really doing this, I hope another person also really knows how grateful, how important gratitude is. So it's also just simple things how we communicate. And this is another thing that I always say. When we say thank you, people say, yeah, among buddies, why say thank you? So I always say that's a more reason why you should know I appreciate what you have done, because I don't want you to think that I take you for granted. So, and I think we are very modest. Our Asian culture is such that we're very humble. When people say, "Hey, no need lah, it's okay lah, small matter one." Don't how do I say this? Do not make
Mhm.
small of uh, things like when people say thank you. Just say when people say thank you, just say you're most welcome. I'm glad I could help. I think it's just simple things like this, expressing gratitude with authenticity so that people actually feel it, because the other part of gratitude is about the giving. So when someone does something for us, we say thank you because we are in the state of being grateful. But you're also acknowledging the effort of the other person. Givers gain. So you're also making the day for that person who gives you something. And guess what? that person is now feeling very appreciative, don't you think that person is going to also be in a what we call la la land, feeling very excited and do more? Imagine how life would be, our life circle would be, if everyone keeps paying it forward, the ripple effect of all these things. So it's first simple things. Say thank you and really mean it, because people actually can feel it. And second thing is, I think, also, we downplay our success. I'm not saying that go and celebrate big, but find moments to celebrate and enjoy. And if you can savor these moments, because what you do today, you will not remember next year. So if you have it somewhere in your happiness jar, abundance jar, gratitude jar, whatever jar that you create, or your, I don't know, checklist, 1 week down or 1 year down the road, and you look back and you're like, hey, I remember, this person did this for me. Hey, I remember this. You're just snowballing the effect of feeling, actually, there are a lot of good things that has happened to me. I may be in a shitty situation right now, but when you reflect back and look at all these moments in the past, you will remember that it's not all the time that I was in a problem. I have had good moments in life, and this will help you to actually start your process of moving forward, picking yourself up. So it's just small, small things. The one thing that I always advocate and tell people to do is, if you can, spend time for yourself and do a journal. Because anything written, I mean, we have always heard goals are meant to be put on paper and pen. I would
Yes.
also say the same thing. Pen down your gratitude, because your whole emotions of doing that process of writing down how your day has been, how you're excited, how you're celebrating, how you're so appreciative of things that's happening, it's a snowball effect, because you go to sleep feeling excited, happy, you get up and again you reflect what you have written and you set the goals or what you want to do for the day. It continues the rhythm. And remember earlier I said it's not something you do one off, it's a way of being. It's how you, like, you brush your teeth. So if you keep doing this, that it starts becoming your state of being, no matter what happens. And please listen very carefully, things will happen. And yes, you will fall down. If people say I'm always 100% up and smiling all the time, no, it's not. But
Right.
it's just that, even now, sometimes I have difficulty picking myself up. So I reach out to my friends, and they will say, maybe go and look at your gratitude journal, maybe it helps. And like, as if I don't know how to do that. But that support of your friends, people around you, is also very crucial. So it's not that bad things will not happen or things don't go the way that you want. It will happen. But this helps you cope and pick yourself up.
Okay.
And now
You
I
know,
forgot what
while
was the first question. I don't know where I went with my
okay, no,
explanation.
no, no, it's a good one. It's a good one, right? So definitely there'll be more questions coming in, so we won't miss the talk. So here we have some of our friends saying that. Okay, so we have Jay Kumar, who have said gratitude
Hello,
appreciated
sir.
from the right. Okay, and then we have Cheryl saying that it's from your being deep within it becomes a lifestyle, right?
Yep.
Cheryl, we definitely love to hear some of your points on this. And then this is my cheeky friend Brian, who's a printer, said thank you and love
I
you,
love
Yasa.
you. Yes.
And he is now going on to delivering happiness now.
Oh, that's
he's
nice.
using, so
See,
he's
it's
going to
all
deliver
about
his stuff.
perspective. It's all about perspective.
All right, yeah, and then we have, Cheryl says energy, psychology.
Oh, yes.
Liz said, wow, totally agree about you with gratitude, a habit I need to adopt. All right, thank you for reminding us. So Liz, stay on because she's going to share a little bit about, journaling and all those stuff. Jay Kumar says, pen down your gratitude. All right, yeah. So we're going to also hear more about this site, the details about how to pen down the gratitude, uh, and gratitude will bring a state of being. Love that.
Yep.
So just today morning, right? I was
Yeah.
just taking a walk, my morning walk,
Uh-huh.
and I was being, just knowing that today I'm going to hear a lot of gratitude with you.
Mm-hmm.
I decided to hear a little bit, of some of the YouTubes on gratitude. So one of the things they say is like, gratitude brings about a very high vibration, right? So it's sort of like, the negative ones are like, anger, depression, anxiety, and all that. Those are like the 0, 1, in a scale of 1 to 10.
Yeah.
And love and all that is in the highest, let's say
Higher.
about
Yeah.
10. Right? And then gratitude is somewhere in the 8 or 9. So it
Nine.
helps to bring us out and above from a low vibration to a
Yeah.
high form of vibration, right? So sometimes there are times where it's just crazy, the day, it's just like, havoc, and nothing went well. How do we change our energy during the time, to a point that we can actually feel gratitude for something, because we
Okay.
are just like, in a so negative state at that point of time, right?
Again, for me, what really works, and I would encourage people to actually go on this journey to discover what really works for them. So for
Okay.
me, what really works is to pick up my own journal and to look back. What are some of the nice things that happen? But when you are really in the peak of anger or disappointment, things are really, really very, um, your emotions is at its peak of frustration or whatever it is. So let's say you're
Yeah.
at your zero right now, right?
Yeah.
This is one thing that I learned from one of Tony Robbins' videos a couple of years ago. So he
Right.
did this session with Oprah Winfrey, and he says, when you despair the most, when you think everything is hopeless, when you can't see the light at the end of the tunnel and
Yeah.
everything is just black and gloomy, maybe one of the easiest things to do is to just take a deep breath. Take your hands. Okay, now you can see my hands.
Right.
Put it against your chest,
Right.
and when you feel your heart beating, really, there's no other greater gift in life than your heart beating on its own without the help of a machine or anything else. So for me, that's my grounding point. At the lowest point is to just remind myself, if I have the greatest gift of life, which is to be able to breathe on my own, and especially now, I discovered this many years ago, but especially now, looking at what COVID patients are actually suffering, putting into what do you call that, alat membantu bernafas, what do you call that in English?
Is it the
uh,
breathing incubators and all?
uh, there's a
The
name for those machines. Yes.
respiratory stuff,
Yes,
right?
because difficulty in breathing and
Yes,
all these
yes,
things, and
right.
here we are able to breathe without any assistance.
Yes,
If you can just reflect on that and say, okay, you know what, I'm able to breathe, everything else doesn't matter. Let's start with that. I can breathe. Okay, I have this problem. What can I do next? So
right.
I really would encourage people to maybe find what is your grounding point. What is it exactly? um, you could be a mother with kids and you say, you know what, the greatest gift in my life is my family, my parents, my
Right.
husband, my kids.
Mm.
There are people who are childless. When you really look at it, we are actually blessed with a lot of things. So find what is your grounding point, and at your most darkest moment or your most difficult moment, look at it. And I'm not saying that it's going to be so easy to suddenly from zero become 8, 9, 10, but take one step at a time. The baby steps are
Mm.
crucial, and do not beat yourself up and say, why am I feeling like this?
Mm.
I'm trying to find something to be grateful for, but I can't.
Right.
And that's the thing. Go easy on yourself, because I think we are the biggest judge of our own self. We have very high expectations on ourselves and we get very frustrated. So the thing is to take baby steps. And it's very difficult to go on from a zero state to go right up to your highest point. So take baby steps, and it's going to be a process. You may only get it done in days, weeks. It cannot be something that within hours you change. Different situation, different people, we do not know exactly when it will change, but do not give up. So long that you know that I want to get out of this, and I'm trying to look for that I want, start with that and say, the little things that you then suddenly find things to be grateful for. I have clothes to wear, and this is a cliche that we take things for granted. I have water to drink. Small things, and you may say, like, how silly is that? I got water to drink, I have air to breathe. But then imagine if you didn't have it.
Yeah.
I once injured my right leg, and that's the time I really discovered how difficult it is, because I couldn't drive my car. If it was my left, I was just thinking, if it was my left leg, I could have still driven. Where's my right leg? I can't drive. And then suddenly you're like, oh God, I never ever really took time to appreciate my right leg. That's the thing, because everything is functioning,
Right.
and we take it for granted that it's always oiled up, maintained, and working for us. Only when one of the parts are down, suddenly you um, find that I'm not performing at my peak right now because one of my parts are down. So that's
Right.
the thing. Find what really grounds you and start with that.
Right. Right. Okay. So, right. So, few sharings from our listeners, our audience today. Okay. So we have Ratnavati, right? She's a teacher who teaches, kids on how to talk, how to speak,
Nice.
right? So she said
Oh,
when
I'm
MCO
loving
started
this.
last year, I was at complete loss as to what my business direction will go. I started a gratitude journal and wrote down everything I was grateful for every morning at 5 a.m. Okay, it has done me wonders, right? So, Ratna, if possible, right, I'd like to hear a little bit more on what are the wonders that happened to you. Okay, because we will be hearing one more uh, friends of ours who has actually followed Bawani's course on gratitude, and he has had a significant change. His name is Rohan. We'll be hearing him soon, right, in the show. All right. So, Ratna, we'd like to hear a little bit more on what were the positive changes for you when you started using the gratitude journal, right? Uh, and then Cheryl also shared, okay, for me, looking back at my worst moments in the past and seeing that I've went through it, gives me the grounding to be grateful. So that is her grounding point lah. So whenever things are difficult or whatever, and she looks back at the past moments, thanks for sharing, Cheryl. That's a good one, right? So anyone of our audience here who feels like sharing, this is a great place. We want to learn from each other. Okay.
I
So
agree, and
now,
thanks for those feedbacks. Really amazing.
yeah. So Rusnaja, I have read your question, and we will definitely go into the answering that question later on in the show, after we have covered the steps, right? So I haven't forgotten your question, Rusnaja, right? So her question is this: some might confuse gratefulness for laziness, because if you're
Mm-hmm.
content, you might not want to strive for something bigger. How do I counter these kind of people, right? So this one, I suppose we can answer later on in the
Yeah.
show, right? Okay, good one, Rusnaja. Thanks for the question. Um, okay, so how do we actually go about doing a gratitude journal?
Okay. Good. Great question. I think if you really research gratitude journal, there's just so many ways. People have different models. The one that I subscribe to is the easiest for me, because I'm really not artistic, so doing posters and all is really very difficult for me. So
Right,
for me, it's really bullet points, because that's the easiest that comes to me. And initially I felt it was a struggle, like, ayo, must get up, must do this, must spend time, and I'm really not this Robin Sharma 5 a.m. kind of a person. I mean, getting up is not an issue, but getting up super early, that's not me. My peak performance is always at late night. I'm a very night person.
okay,
But here's the tip: do not try and allocate half an hour to do a gratitude journal or 15 minutes. Start with 1 minute.
wow,
Whatever that you can
one
write in.
minute? Seriously?
Start with it.
Okay,
I'm talking about people who have never done it, or people who find that it's so difficult to do. So
Right.
just time yourself. Let's start with 60 seconds. If you need to put a
Okay.
timer, put to it and just start. And just take any random book. So I just take books like this,
Right.
normal notebooks that you get in your normal bookstores. That's the school, primary school notebooks and all, 80 cents,
Right.
90 cents. Any
Right.
book that you like.
Okay.
If you're a bit proud of your book, you can go and buy those thick leather books. So whichever it is,
Right.
I would seriously recommend a book, not pieces of paper, because it's easier to keep a book and read
Right.
back as compared to papers, because in case the papers go missing, unless you file it, so
Right.
it really doesn't matter how you do it. So just
Okay.
start with 60 seconds and just write what you're thankful for. It could be as simple as, I'm glad I got up today. Some people go to sleep but they don't get up in the morning. It could be thankful for the bed that I'm sleeping on. Thank you for the breakfast. Whatever it is, for 60 seconds that you can think of, just write it. And the other thing that I would encourage is, when you start the day, start with some intention.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I'm happy and grateful that I have two appointments today, or today I'm
Right.
meeting a client to close the sale. So always start with an intention. So if
Right.
you know that you need to pay something extra, just say I'm happy and excited and look forward to an extra 200 this week.
Mm-hmm.
Here's the thing: if you do not put it out there, you do not write this down, it's it will not look real yet. I do not know how to explain this, but when you put it on pen and paper, it's real. You are looking
Mm-hmm.
forward for it, you are inviting it. So again,
Mm-hmm.
um, do take note, this is a process. So do not get
Right.
frustrated at the end of the day. What is this? I asked for extra 200 ringgit, nothing came also. So this is why it fails.
Right.
Just keep doing, celebrate what comes.
Right.
If that 200 has not come, it's okay. There are other things that has happened for you. Maybe someone
Right.
paid for your coffee. Maybe
Right.
someone bought you nasi lemak seringgit 50 sen for breakfast.
Right.
Celebrate and enjoy those things, because only
Right.
when you celebrate and enjoy those things,
Right.
some way somehow that 200 ringgit will come to you. So this is
Right.
what I encourage. Find few minutes the moment you get up, no half an hour, not long periods, just the moment you get up, grab a book, grab your pen. For me, I just leave it by my bedside so that I can just get up, put on my glasses and just write. So just spend a few minutes, the most. You don't have to write essays or look for inspiration, whatever comes to mind.
Right.
Just say that and affirm what you want for the day. You want your day to go well. You want a safe journey if you're traveling somewhere. If you're going on a business trip, okay, maybe right now there's no business trip, but maybe there's a Zoom session. Just put it on pen and paper and say that, I'm happy and excited, and I'm looking forward for the success, or closing the sale, or for having a tuition, whichever it is.
Right.
So always set intention, for whatever that you are doing. Set
Right.
intention to have an exciting day. So this is my simple journal that I always encourage people to do, and end the day with another journal that now, whatever that has happened along the way. Maybe someone bought you a sandwich, someone, I don't know, bought you a tetare or a cappuccino, whatever it is. Just pen down all these things. I'm happy and grateful that, um, I don't know, Rohan bought me a coffee. I'm happy and grateful that, Cheryl sent me a message out of the blue. Just look at all the things that really happened to you, and put it down. I'm happy and grateful. I'm thankful. I'm excited. I got this. I'm excited. My oh, okay. I started planting things in the last few months. So, and I'm a bad gardener, really a bad gardener.
Okay.
So for me, when I see one new leaf that pops up or one new flower that pops up, it's a celebration for me, because I feel I'm such a bad gardener. So I celebrate those things, that this plant has a new flower today, like yay! Because yeah, just celebrate everything and anything, and no matter how small or big, celebrate everything.
Right.
So
Okay,
that's
so
the simple journal that I would ask people to do. That's your affirmation, your intention, and whatever that you're grateful for.
right.
It's
Okay, so
not big rocket science, but the rocket science is doing it with consistency. That's the rocket science of it.
basically just get going and doing it for consistently for some period of time, right?
I wouldn't say some period of time. I would say do it for life.
Okay, that's even better lah.
Yes,
Okay, so now
there's no expiry for that.
we have some questions on the details on this journal, right? So
Uh
our
huh.
friends here. So Johan just came in, right, and he is asking, maybe what is the difference between writing gratitude in a book versus typing it in a laptop? Is
Okay.
there any difference, or is just the practice?
Okay. This is I'm still researching this, but let me just tell you what I know based on my experience and what I have seen people around me experience. If you're comfortable with typing it or using your iPad pen or tab pen and all, I would say it's okay, go for it. But um, our old original way of being is we never had computer, and technology was not part of our living in even in our lifetime many years ago. We started with all pen and paper. Even the biggest ideas, brainstorming, all happens on pen and paper. And your emotion, right, your psychological emotion, when you put it on pen and paper, is different as compared to when you're doing it on the laptop. But if you're really someone who really performs better on iPad, tablet, laptop, go for it. But I would still encourage you to try it on pen and paper first, because I personally feel the emotions evoked when you write is different than when you type.
Okay.
So when people do sketches, even brainstorming, no matter how great our technology is, if you see, always the basis of it is, yes, now you have flow charts, you have all kinds of things, but the best is always on using good old pen and paper. So I would say try. If you really still feel that the laptop is your preferable choice, I will not say no, because I think individuals, we all vary, and no one can say that this is right or wrong. But I'm going to keep repeating this. Try paper and pen first,
Mhm.
because how you feel when you read something on a paper and pen and when you see on a screen, the emotions are different. But try it for yourself and see which works better for you.
Okay, good one. Good question, Johan. Thank you for your question. And we have Gayatri who's asked about doing this. So she said that we do it with our kids. We do this process with our kids, asking them what made them happy and thankful for
Mm.
the day. Very nice. Moving forward, thinking of getting them
Yes.
to start writing a gratitude journal. Any tips for parents?
Oh, yes, awesome, Gayatri. I think one of the um, great things that a parent could do is to start helping kids to appreciate things around them. But I think what would also be helpful will be to help them understand what gratefulness is, how thank you actually makes a difference. And that thank you is just not that social expectation. You say it because you're expected to say it, but make them understand that, when you say thank you, that uncle or auntie will feel this way. The effort that they put in to do something for you. If someone bought a toy and gave them, so the effort that uncle and auntie has done and all that, so they can see this whole process of the giver's perspective. So it also helps the child now to also have that state of being that I'm not the receiver all the time. I can also be the giver. The joy of giving. So I think as parents, right? Yes, get them to do gratitude journal in a fun form. What are the things that they are happy about? Maybe the sister did something for them, brother did something, or didn't do. Also, how do you look at it from a different point of view? But help them understand why saying thank you is important. And I think the best is always how we get them to share, is getting them to understand what it is like to feel when you receive. So when you give, imagine because of you, someone is happy, someone is excited. So if these are things that we can start educating kids to help and understand, I think we will live in a much happier environment, I think.
Definitely. Right.
Yeah.
So Wani Krishnan has also said, used to write journals, but now with personal time scarcity, first thing in the morning, I look at my hands and say, thanks for having it functioning. And before I stand on the ground, I say, thanks for the legs for holding me up and earth for keeping me grounded. Very nice, Wani.
Yeah,
Thank
and I thanks, Wani. I think this is another important thing that sometimes we forget with the busyness of life, is to also appreciate our own self. Like I said, only when I injured my right leg, I really discovered how painful life is without my right leg.
you. Right.
So I think that's also another habit we should be having, which is to thank ourselves, all the body parts that's working, that is doing all its things. When you walk, do you really tell your brain, now put your left feet forward, now you put your right feet forward? We don't. The body just works automatically. You do not tell your heart or
Yeah.
lungs you should be beating right about right now.
Yeah.
They're just working on its own. So do not take those little things for granted. Those are actually the big things. So
Yeah.
that could be another easy place to start with. Thank your own self, your own body. And Vyasa, you would be surprised. I've done this experiment with small kids, asking them what are you most thankful for, and they will say my hair, my little pinky, all kind of things. It's so they're so innocent, and the answers they come out with is so funny. But yeah, those are little things that sometimes we forget
Yeah.
to say our thanks to, our appreciation.
And as adults, we just take a lot of these for granted, right?
Yep.
And Liz says, I usually express my gratitude to God when I pray every day, but I'll extend further by writing it down.
Yep.
Okay. And then Jega has said, I think what everyone should do is just start doing this, whether we believe it or not. Okay, nice one, Jega. Because sometimes we might not believe it fully, right? But
Yeah,
at least
just
get started. Just get started, right? Just do it for the fun of it, at least, because the magic can only have an opportunity to happen if
if
we
we do it.
start doing it. Yeah, beautiful, nice one,
Jega, as usual, profound.
Professor. Good one, Jiga. And then, okay, we have Perthpal. The magic can only have an opportunity to happen if we do it. There you have it. That's the
That's the
key.
key.
Giving
Giving gratitude.
a chance. Yeah, good one, Perthpal. Good one. Okay. Now, having done all of this, right, I think we also need to hear some good stories of those who actually used gratitude
Yep.
and things have transformed.
Yep.
Okay, so we have Rohan coming in the show. Rohan is
Yes,
actually
yes.
a student, still a student, and he does. Okay, Rohan, I think you should tell what you do
Yeah, he
yourself,
should
right?
introduce himself.
Yeah.
Can we
Okay,
bring him
so
in?
yep, Rohan coming up.
Hi,
Hi,
hi
Rohan.
everyone.
Okay, so
Hi,
I
can you
think
guys
a
hear
lot of
me?
yes, we can hear you very
Yeah,
clearly. So
great.
for our LinkedIn friends, he's actually uh, very active in LinkedIn and Facebook. Rohan, I'll let you do the magic yourself. Maybe you can explain a little bit of what do you do actually.
Okay, so hi everyone. I'm Rohan. I am actually an independent beauty consultant and a beauty guru. At the same time, I'm also studying my degree in public relations. I'm at my final year. I'm almost done now. So that's what basically I do.
Okay, right. Maybe you can explain a little bit on how did you actually get started with this whole gratitude thing, and how did you meet Bhavani, and what did you do, and what are the results you actually got out of practicing this?
Yeah. So I actually connected with Bavani on LinkedIn. Then eventually later on we became friends on Facebook. So she used to watch a lot of my live videos on Facebook, and she always praised about how well I speak online. Then she one day just offered, hey, do you want to get a coaching session from me for free? She was doing it for all entrepreneurs out there. I was like, for me, it's like, okay lah, you know what is the harm? You know, you can learn something new out of the process anyway. So
Right.
I went for her coaching session. Initially, the mindset that Bavani to coach me was on more on goal setting, but I actually have goal setting more placed and done, right? I was looking something more for mindset on how to be more resilient as an individual, running my own business and all that. So eventually during the session, Bavani shared about the gratitude journal lah. So basically, write down what you're thankful for at the end of the day. I was being a 23-year-old, being a 22, 23-year-old, a student, I was like, I was very skeptical. I was very, very skeptical about the gratitude journal. So
That's good. That's
I knew Bhavani. Yeah, I
good
was
to
very
hear that.
skeptical. Yeah, I was very skeptical. I'm like, does she mean? Like, does this really work? Like, I really had that whole mindset in my head. So
Right.
for 1 month, for 1 month, the gratitude journal haunted me. Like
Okay.
it stuck in my head. That thought of, buy the journal, start writing, like haunted my head.
Right.
Wherever I went, I have a bookshop, like the thought will come, you need to buy a journal to write the gratitude journal. So eventually I bought then on 1st December, I was like, okay, I'm gonna start doing this. I'm gonna start doing this. I sat down and I started writing. What I would do at that period of time was that in the morning when I wake up after I shower, gotten ready, gotten my makeup on, I would actually write my daily affirmations of the day and what I want to achieve in the month, how much of sales I want to get and all that. Um, so I will do that in the morning. At night before I sleep, I will just take like 5 minutes. I will think what happened in the whole day. What happened the whole day? I will just start writing what I'm thankful for. And Bawani really opened a perspective in my mind where she said this thing where really hit by heart lah. Was that you can be grateful for your ring light for giving you for being able for me to have my Facebook live videos. I was like, wow, I never really thought of that. Like being grateful for your phone, because of your phone, you get to speak to your clients and from there you get sales.
Right.
So I was doing 1st December I started. By the time I reached on 15th of December, I actually completed my personal sales record for a month in just 15 days.
Wow. And
Usually I do about, huh?
has this happened before? I mean, you
No,
completing 15-day target, 1 month's target in 15 days.
no, I have never done that. I actually broke my own record. Like it's far beyond my own. I couldn't believe it. I was very shocked myself, and I was very shocked. I was really, really, really shocked. Like I'm like, wait, how did that happen? Because the quantity is about 4,000 ringgit worth of product. That
Right.
takes me a month to do
Right.
on
Right.
average. But suddenly I just pop, 15 days gone. 15
Wow.
days gone, and even my team even grew in size in that 15 days. I was like, wow. Then I was really amazed. But then what I really reflected on is that my mentor will always tell me, when you are happy, you will attract a lot of business. And what gratitude journal did for me was gratitude journal made me really happy.
Right.
Because when you're writing things that you're happy or things that going what you're grateful for, you get really happy. You're so happy. And that somehow attracted business, like the universe like did some hallelujah and brought the business to my table. Like from out of that it brought. And the clients that I made in that month while I was writing gratitude journal was very high quality clients. Like and and I did not do much work. Like I mean, for the amount of work I did to get the result wasn't tallied as well lah. Like I put a bit and I just put a bit of effort, but the result was wow. Yeah. Then that was how gratitude journey impacted my life lah. And then I took the practice. I went to my team. I went to my team, my whole area, and I also shared with American Singapore directors and beauty consultants, and the feedback from them are also great. Like they are breaking their own records with the help of the gratitude journal. And one thing that because I'm a student and I'm also running my own business, a lot of things goes on in my head. I'm
Yeah.
thinking about assignments, my final year
Right.
project,
Right.
these classes, this and that. I'm thinking about my team. I'm thinking about my clients. I'm thinking about my commitments. I'm thinking there's so many thoughts dance in my head, and sometimes I don't get peaceful sleep. Like I don't
Mhm.
really sleep. Like when I'm on the bed, I don't sleep. I'm like still
Yes.
thinking of work, this, that. So like you don't really sleep in a way.
Right.
Somehow you don't really sleep. But the gratitude journal gave me peaceful sleep.
Really?
Yeah, I started sleeping way more peaceful. Like I used to like I sleep like I really sleep because I've let go. Because somehow I feel it's like I've let go of what happened in the day, whatever work is has to be done and all that on the book and paper, on the pen and paper, on basically on my journal. Like it's all let go there. It's all
So
there.
you
Like I
write
have
it,
nothing else to worry about.
and then you just leave it there, and you're done.
Yeah, because I feel all that emotion, that burden, right, just goes on the book. Just go on the book. And even when I was writing my gratitude journal, like certain things that even happened in my life was that I was short of 100 ringgit to pay my car installment.
Right.
And I wrote in my daily information. I wrote in the morning in the information. I wrote there I'm gonna get 100 ringgit today to pay my car installment. But then the profit I made that day was like add another zero at the back. I got a thousand profit in
Serious.
that day. I was like, wow, I just settled my car payment on that day. I just danced. I was on cloud nine. I was on cloud nine.
My
But yes,
God.
like at first, like I was skeptical when I tried it. I was like, wow. And I just carry on doing. I just carry on doing. And overall, it has been December, January, February. My business has grown every month. In the pandemic with MCU 2.0, business has grown by like every month there's about 40 to 50% growth. This I'm very happy about. And I'm also on track for my directorship as well. Yeah. So
Awesome.
I'm like,
Rohan, like this is so good to hear because like we are hearing so many negative news out there, right? Why we can't do this business, why things are not happening, why things sometimes maybe certain things are beyond us, right? But maybe I think what I saw you doing is like you took charge of it again using this simple process called this gratitude journal, right? So now what happens? Okay, I'm going to throw a spanner here to you right now. What happens when you had a bad day on that day, and how do you do your gratitude journal?
okay, so I actually even asked Bawani this question when she was teaching about gratitude journal, right? I did
Right.
this. I just did what she told me. What she did was that I actually thanked. I actually yes, definitely life. It's life. I'm very honest. Life. There is also bad days. So what
Yes.
happens? There is not when it's a bad day. Right? I say I'm thankful for the bad day. Then
Mhm.
I actually sit and think and reframe situation.
Okay,
Like just think. Like for example, yeah.
you reframe the situation, right?
Yeah, I reframe. For example, a client rejecting you,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm thankful the client rejected me.
Mm-hmm.
I'll write that first, and then I will
Yeah.
carry on. I'll carry on with I am thankful that because of that one rejection, I know I'm one step closer to my goal. And then I say I am thankful for that situation because that situation made me go and learn about a certain skill sets I need to deal with that client. Like I think of what was the after effect I did to handle that situation, what I learned in that process. So then I said, oh, I'm thank you for that. And thank you for the new knowledge and wisdom I gotten.
Right.
Yeah, that is how I reframed it. And sometimes like certain things like sometimes it's also very it's really a bad day, then I will sit and I will nag about it. I'll actually nag to the wall. I will nag about it. I'll get it out of my system, and then I'll record. Then before I sleep, I make sure I write my journal. That is how
So,
I deal with it.
so
Yeah,
like when the things get really, really bad, you find a
yeah,
way to let it out first, and then you just
yeah,
jump back into it again and do the
yeah,
gratitude journal again.
yeah.
Wow, awesome. Is a huge, I mean, it's lovely to hear your story, you know.
But it's also because I tried it, I saw results, and I hold it. It's like I've anchored like my faith onto it, lah. Like the whole, if let's say, even when you look at law of attraction, right?
Right.
What you think, what you believe becomes reality. I've followed that whole thing. I believe that gratitude journal helps and works, and that is how I think I'm also getting the amazing results behind it because I have anchored my faith to it. Like that whole belief system is like there, like tak. Yeah.
So, what would you advise, friends out there? I'm sure you have heard about, like, people having tough times, people having, difficult businesses and all those things. What would you advise from your point of view as a new practitioner of this gratitude journal?
What I would advise, right, is that just try. Just
Mm.
try. You're not gonna lose another, like you don't have 1 million ringgit. By trying this, you're not gonna lose 1 million ringgit, $1 million. You're not gonna lose. Just try. Just take a chance and try. Like what will happen? Like most of us, what will happen? Right? There's not a high risk onto it. You just need to spend like maybe what, 6 ringgit to buy one journal, have a pen, take 5 minutes and just try. Like you're not going to lose any amount of money. So just try. Like why not? Just for the fun of it. Or if let's say you're also very skeptical, why not try to prove it wrong?
I was
Like
just about
you
to ask
try.
you that question. What if you're skeptical? What if you are skeptical? A lot of people here who are watching have that also. I'm skeptical. Betul ke yang ni? Boleh jalan ke? You know?
Yeah, I initially tried. I also like tried. One of my intention I was trying also was that I wanted to really know, does this work or not? Like does this really work? So if you are skeptical, why don't you take the chance and try it to prove it wrong?
Oh my God.
But suddenly
You
the
know,
outcome just which you're like, wow.
Bhavani shared that you took more than 1 month to actually start practicing it from the time you first heard
Yeah.
it, right?
I took 1 month. I dwelled on it.
You dwelt on it, you're just thinking, betul ke, this one sure or not,
Betul
this
ke?
thing.
Should I take a chance? Should I buy the book? Then I was looking for the book. I found the book. Okay, lah. Then I started writing. 1 month. But the thought haunted me. The
Right,
thought really, the whole thought of gratitude journal will like always pop out in the back of my head. I always be reminded of it somehow.
right.
And like in the whole process of it, right,
Mm.
I find that the gratitude journal was this missing piece of puzzle that I was looking for.
Mm.
Like I always felt something empty inside. And by writing gratitude journal, it gave me the thing that I was looking for. That actually helps with consistency, being resilient, being more motivated and charged up to get your work done, reaching and meeting your goals. That was that one piece of puzzle that just fit in really well. Yeah.
Awesome. Really good to hear this. So our friends who are watching here, feel free because we're going to finish the show very soon. Feel free to ask Rohan anything, ask Bhavani anything, right? Because we're going to finish soon. Someone said you have radioactive energy.
Thank
Yeah.
you. Thank you.
Okay, yeah, and a few of them actually say the same thing. And
Thank
I like
you.
this, what you said here. Try to prove it wrong. Okay, for all those who are actually a bit skeptical about this whole thing, right? Try to prove it wrong. Just do it and see whether it actually doesn't work. Okay, awesome. And I think Malar also said this. Love what Rohan's saying. Try to prove it wrong. Okay, paradox of belief. Okay, there's a science of all of this lah. All right, but you are just doing it, just jumping into it, don't care about all the science, you just do it lah. Okay, so friends who are here, who have any questions for you want to throw at Rohan or Bhavani, just please throw it. We have about 5 minutes more before we finish. We originally intended it to be only about 45 minutes, 1 hour. So right now, yeah. So it's a good one. So Bhavani, before we finish, do you have anything to share uh, about this?
The whole gratitude journey.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think like what Rohan said, right? You got nothing to lose and much more to gain. But if you're still skeptical, just try it. How much investment? The most 5 minutes a day plus the most expensive journal that you can buy and a pen. That's your only investment that's at stake. So just give it a try and start with 1 minute 60 seconds if that helps you. And I think the one thing that really got me excited was, I still remember very clearly, 15th of December, Rohan started calling me, I think at 9 p.m., and I unfortunately had a meeting that was going on, and he kept calling me, and I said, tomorrow I'll call you. Because I think finally 11 something I messaged him, it's late, shall I call you tomorrow? And he still called me that night to tell me 2 weeks 2 weeks achievement. And I was like blown away, because it took him 1 month to start. Because every time I asked him, he was like, no, I haven't bought my book yet, no, I'm doing this. I said, okay lah, never mind lah, when he finds the time he will do it. But I didn't know he started. He only called me on 15th of December and told me, Bavani, I made it two weeks, I already finished my quota. It's like, oh
so good
heavens.
to hear this.
Yeah. So that energy of his really prompted me to start sharing, because this is evidence. What more? How else can I advocate if I don't share his success? He did
Yeah.
it. He really took action. Basically, he did it. It was not because of me. He took the action. It was his time. It was his journal, his effort to keep doing it, and he didn't give up. And he's now
Right.
continuously doing it. It's like brushing teeth already.
Yeah.
And
Now
I
I
think
cannot sleep if I never return my journal.
wow, you really made it into a
That's so
habit.
nice to hear, right?
So I think one of the things I like about this is it's just not a one-off result or a lucky result on just December. It has been consistently growing, which
Yeah,
actually is more important from December and then went on to January. Maybe December was a fluke. Who knows, right? If
yeah.
Yeah.
someone observing from the side. But January it happened again and it was growing again, and February also is growing. So there must be
He's on
something
track.
right going on there. So that's very interesting, Rohan. I think thanks so much for sharing.
You're
Okay.
welcome.
Okay, so Cheryl also said that the reflective process, Rohan, helps him grow continuously since I know him. I knew him a few years ago. Okay, Cheryl is actually one of the lecturers of Rohan before,
Yeah.
right? And one of your big fans also. Okay, so but Paul said at times we get bogged down with too much in life. Another spin to allow for you to vent it out, but put a time cap to it. I do sulk, but
But
kept it objective sulking. Very nicely put, with Paul, right? And then okay, friends, before we finish, right? Just whoever is going to start practicing this the next 30 days. Okay, we have a 30-day challenge, right? Whoever's going to practice this, say yay. Say yay, you're going to practice this, okay, for the next 30
Yay!
days and prove Rohan wrong. Prove Bhavani
Prove
wrong.
me
Okay,
wrong.
if you're going to practice, I'm going to do it. Okay, definitely. From today, I've been hearing about this. I heard about this a long time ago. I practiced a little bit, and then but today I'm going to just do it consistently for the next 30 days, right? So whoever is going to practice this for the next 30 days, just say a yay, and then you're going to do this, right? And we're going to do this all together. Okay, for those who want to actually know a little bit more about Bhavani's actual course, he's doing a course, a short course, right? This coming Monday on the 8th, right, Bhavani? Uh,
yes,
Maybe you can
on
just speak a little bit about it and how much does it cost, and maybe later on just throw in your link down there in the comments.
Oh,
Okay?
okay. Thank you, Yesa. So I'm doing a short 2-hour session on this coming Monday, 8th of February. 7:30 to 9:30. And this is also because Rohan told me I should be telling the whole world about it. And he's told me, I'm your evidence, please go and share this. So I'm taking 2 hours because I really want to go a bit more in depth into the science, look at what really abundance mindset is and how all this actually relates to the mindset and everything. So two hours on Monday. I will probably put in the link in a very short while. I do not have it on hand with me right now. And what I'm going to do is we plan to set up a support group because this energy is very contagious. If you just saw what Rohan is, that's how energy can be so contagious. So I'm going to set up a group, whether it's WhatsApp or Telegram. I've not decided. I'll do that later. We're going to have a group so that we keep sharing, because it's really a energy that is very contagious, and I want to keep this going. And I need to say something. It's not about 30 days. It's about your coming days after this. So we're going to have a support group so that we just share. And if you have questions, just like what Rohan asked me when I tell you that my session with Rohan, he asked me all kind of questions. What if I didn't get my client? I really so wanted this client and I didn't get the sale. He asked me every single thing to sort of shoot down that gratitude works. So, but again, it's all about reframing, and I help him with that. Everything that he asked me, it's about reframing it. So I want to start this support group, and I hope that this support group will help people, especially right now where I'm really feeling it when I see friends and all talking about business are down. We can't open up. Our own fraternity, Vyasa, we can't go face to face.
Yeah.
Projects, works are
Yep.
getting postponed and all that.
Yes.
There is always some glimmer of hope. How
Yep.
as a community, we all are there for one another, and sometimes when it's so difficult to be alone and feel positive and say that, yeah, I'm alive, I'm breathing. It's when you're really down, all gloomy, that group support, that contagious energy, perhaps is what that's going to help us keep this momentum going. Because it's very easy to, I did my gratitude journal, nothing happened also. That's always what I hear. I'm thankful every day, nothing happened also.
Yeah.
Don't give up, guys. Don't give up. It's again like brushing teeth. It's like what Zig Ziglar said. Motivation is like taking a shower. You have to do it consistently, repeatedly. You do not bathe one day and say that I've already taken a shower, so next 5 days I don't need to bathe. It's a way of being. So that's why I'm doing this 2-hour workshop on Monday night. It's 45 ringgit.
Okay.
If you're registered, I'll send actually a reflection pre-work to do before the session. I'll put the link in the Facebook link right after this. I do not know. I can't go into my Facebook right now, or not I'll have echo. I'll do it after this.
Just throw in your link on both the Facebook and LinkedIn links. And you can share it with me, and I'll share it in the YouTube also. Because me and my team will be there. Okay, because I think we'll be there. Okay.
Yes, I don't know whether I can send it to you now and you can just do it.
Yeah. Okay, it's okay. Let me just see. Okay, that's your link. All right, so I'll just share it here. Just hold on a second.
And thank you, Vyasa, for really doing this session and helping me to advocate my gratitude journey to more viewers right now. And thanks, Rohan, for coming today. I'm so glad you said you could come at 3 today.
No problem.
Though I didn't tell him it's live.
I didn't know it was live. I think she told me, where's this live show? I'm like, what?
I think it's very, very important right now because like one is we are all in the trainers community, and the trainers community is hit badly, right? Like it or not, a lot of trainings are actually put on the back burner for the time being, or slowed down a lot, and some heavily dependent, some are still okay, some, a lot of them are hurt, and also the normal, a lot of people have lost their jobs. Business has been very slow for a lot of people. So I think we can actually change this by practicing some simple things, right? I think we're
One
not
step a
harnessing the
day.
universe. Yeah, one step
One
a
step
day,
a day.
we can make a change. Okay, so I think we just have to look beyond the logic of what's really happening now, and look beyond the energy beyond love, right? I think we can, jointly we can actually do a lot of change for the whole country, and the whole world, right? So that's why I'm a big proponent of this whole thing. And when I heard that you're doing this, gratitude
Yep.
talk, I just jumped at it, and I'm going to be there lah on Monday at
Thank you. Thank you.
7:30, right, on the 8th
7:30.
of February. Okay, me and my team.
Nice, nice. Looking
So
forward.
yeah, we are looking forward to it. They have already, kept their time aside, and we're going to do it. I think it's just very simple, but it's good to hear a little bit more on the science of it. It, gives us a lot more confidence in the whole process. Takes off a little bit of the skepticism, but what Rohan said, just do it lah, kan?
I think Vyasa, if I can just wrap up by saying this,
Yeah,
just give it a try, and wherever you can, in any setting, any context, wherever
yeah,
you are, if you can help people be hopeful, let's do
yeah,
that. Because
yeah,
if we continue beating a person who's already beaten up, a
yeah,
person can only take so much. So maybe we can just be this beacon of light and just try to, switch on one light, and maybe more lights can be switched on after that. So I think the smallest thing that we can do right now is to just be the beacon of hope for people around us. We have
yeah,
enough of everyone saying, and yes, that's a reality. Market is
mm,
hit,
yeah,
economy is
yeah,
badly
yes,
hit. That is the reality.
yep,
But there's no harm in telling people things will change.
right,
This can't be forever. Things will change. So if I can
yeah,
just invite everyone who's listening here today, if we can have a hand in doing that, giving people
right,
hope, helping
right,
people to just, you know what, things are bad,
right,
but it will come to an end. Can
right,
we just take the first step looking at the being hopeful? I think that
right.
would be very helpful right now. Thank you so much,
Okay.
Vyasa, for doing this session. I really, really
You're
appreciate it.
you're very welcome. It's superb. I learned a lot of things, and I have a commitment also for this to do something about this. Also, for those who have heard this talk today, I think if you're starting any WhatsApp or Telegram group or whatever group, right? Maybe you can share the link here, or and then we will also shout it out in LinkedIn, so that at least we can do this whole gratitude thing. Whether they did the course or not, it doesn't matter, right?
Yep.
At least we can have a support group for those who want to do something,
Yeah.
and we can do it together, because sometimes it's nice to be in a community of people doing things together, right?
Yep.
And Rohan saying something out there, every time.
Yeah, definitely
Okay, and
give it a
Bavani,
try and just start being hopeful lah.
yeah. Okay, cool. So again, thank you so much for everyone.
Thank you,
Thank you,
teacher.
Bhavani. Thank you. Wonderful. A lot of sharing. Rohan, thank you very much for being on the
You're
show.
welcome.
Made a
Thank
difference.
you.
Definitely made a difference. Okay. And to the listeners also, I think a lot of
Yes,
them are
thank you
going to
for being
do.
here.
Yeah. Thanks for joining the show and asking and sharing your views. All right. So we're going to end the broadcast now. We'll
Bye
just say
bye.
bye bye to all of y'all. Thank you for being on the show. Bhavani,
Stay
don't
safe.
forget to share your link later in the comments, both
Yes,
on
I will.
LinkedIn and some of the questions that are not answered in this short
Oh, yes, I will go and
time,
do
right?
that in a short
Just
while.
go there also. All right. Bye bye now.
Bye
Bye
bye.
bye.
Stay safe.